By the time I finally stood in front of Inunaki Tunnel, the sun had already gone down. My phone camera didn't capture how wrong the air felt. Everyone around me was laughing. Sean, who had driven us out here in his borrowed car, did a mock YouTuber voice as he filmed. "And here we are at the famous Inunaki Tunnel," he shouted. "Home of 1,000 urban legends and at least 100 clickbait videos. Remember to like and subscribe." Miyu rolled her eyes and adjusted her beanie. "Your channel has like 800 subscribers," she said. "Calm down." Kana hugged her jacket tighter and looked at the black mouth of the tunnel. "It looks smaller than in the photos," she murmured. I stood a little apart from them, my breath misting in the damp air, my gaze fixed on the concrete arch. I had seen it before. In videos. In online threads. And once, in a dream I had as a child, long before I knew its name. "Yui?" Shun called. "You okay?" Don't tell me the horror nerd is scared now. I forced a smile and walked toward them. "I'm fine," I said. It's weird seeing it in real life." "It's just an old road," Miyu said. "We film, we scream a bit, we go home. We're not the first idiots to come out here." Shun turned the camera on me. "So tell the viewers," he said, grinning. "Why is Inunaki Tunnel so famous?" The lens felt like an eye. I slipped into my practiced explanation voice, the one I used on my tiny horror channel when I did urban legend deep dives. "Inunaki Tunnel," I began, "is connected to the legend of Inunaki Village, supposedly a place in the mountains where the Japanese constitution doesn't apply. There are stories about a rusted sign that says no entry beyond this point. The laws of Japan do not apply here. People talk about a phone box where, if you call the police, someone from the village answers instead." "Nice," Shun said. 10 out of 10 creepypasta. "Most of the stories online are fake," I added quickly. "Made up photos, edited videos. The Constitution sign is from a different protest. The village location keeps changing. And the original Inunaki Tunnel was sealed years ago. This one is a newer bypass. But people still come to scare themselves. And we are those people," Kana said weakly. We climbed over the chain blocking the entrance. Inside, the air was colder. Our footsteps echoed on damp concrete. I kept talking, partly for content, partly to drown out the ringing in my ears. "There are old rumors," I said, "about a village that refused to pay taxes, that practiced things the government didn't like. Officials supposedly erased it from the map. Some versions say everyone died in a fire. Others say they just stopped being counted." Shun swung his flashlight beam around dramatically. "And our brave team is here to find the truth," he declared. "Yui, our horror specialist, will now summon the village elders." "Shut up," Miyu cut in. "Don't say summon in a place like this, idiot." We made it halfway through the tunnel. Graffiti crawled along the walls, names, hearts, insults, dates. Kana stayed close behind me, her hand occasionally brushing my backpack. "Hey," she whispered. "The signal really is gone." I checked my phone. No bars. No data. We reached the other side. It opened onto more dark road and the silhouette of trees. "That's enough," Miyu said. "We did it. We can say we went. Let's go back." "No creepy sign," Shun complained. "No phantom village. 0 out of 10 hauntings." He turned the camera back toward the tunnel interior, hoping for some accidental orb. For a moment, the screen showed 4 figures. Us. Then, for a single frame, 5. A slim shape behind us all, at the far end of the tunnel, where no one stood. Later, when I checked the footage frame by frame, I would see that. In the moment, I just felt the back of my neck prickle. "Let's go," I said. We did. We laughed. We drove back to the city, complaining about the cold and how overhyped these places were. Shun dropped me off last. As I stepped out of the car, he leaned over the passenger seat. "Send me the voiceover later," he said. Your urban legend expert bit is gold. Yeah, I said. Text me the raw video. I waved them off and stood in the silent street outside my apartment. For a second, I thought I heard barking in the distance. Low. Hoarse. It echoed oddly between the buildings. When I checked the time, it was 2:03 a.m. The first voicemail came the next day. I noticed it on my walk home from my part-time job, scrolling through my phone as I waited at a crosswalk. One new voicemail, the icon said. I frowned. I rarely got calls, let alone voicemails. The number was hidden. No caller ID. I put my earphones in and played it. At first, there was only static. Then, faintly, the sound of gravel underfoot. Footsteps. Wind. And something else, like distant barking, but distorted, as if recorded through water. No human voice. The message ended abruptly after 15 seconds. I deleted it, chalking it up to spam or a wrong number. That night, I dreamed of a road I hadn't seen before. Not the tunnel. A narrower path, cracked asphalt, guardrail missing in places, leading toward a dark line of trees. In the dream, someone walked ahead of me, just out of sight. I woke with my heart pounding, the taste of iron in my mouth. 2:03 glowed on my alarm clock. My phone had no new notifications. The second voicemail arrived 2 days later. Again, no caller ID. Again, I checked it on my way home, curiosity prickling. This time, the static cleared faster. I heard the footsteps on gravel. The wind through trees. And a voice. Male. Old. The accent was rural Fukuoka, softened by time. You hearing this? He said. If you're hearing this, it means you opened the box. I stopped walking. The city noise around me blurred. I'm sorry, the voice continued. I never told you. I thought if we never spoke of it, it would stay buried. But roads remember. So do villages. So do grandchildren, even if they grow up far away. Grandchildren, I whispered. My mouth went dry. My grandfather had died 6 months earlier. He had left me an old cardboard box in his will, with my name on a brown paper tag. I hadn't opened it yet. Not because I forgot. Because I didn't know how to approach the weight of whatever he thought only I should have. The message crackled. Yui, the voice said, clearly now. It was him. Don't follow the road, he said. If it calls you, don't answer. If someone says they're from the village, don't believe them. They're from what's left of it. A dog barked, closer this time. He inhaled, shaky. We left that place, he said. We burned our names on the sign at the entrance and walked until our feet bled. We agreed never to tell you where we came from. Your mother was born in Fukuoka City, remember? Not in the mountains. Not beyond the end of any road. There was a pause. Wind. Footsteps stopping. You might be angry we lied, he said softly. You have that right. But if the village knows you exist, anger will be the least of what you feel. A metallic creak, like an old gate. Then the message cut off. My hands shook so hard I almost dropped my phone. I played it again. The audio player showed 15 seconds of static. No voice. No message. No Yui. No village. Just wind. I nearly walked into the path of a car crossing the intersection. The driver slammed his brakes and honked, shouting. Sorry. I yelled, bowing automatically. My heart hammered all the way home. The unopened cardboard box waited where I'd left it, on top of my bookshelf. It seemed heavier now, the way a coin feels heavier when you learn it's the last of its kind. My grandfather never talked much about his hometown. Just countryside, he'd say. Nothing there now. All gone. Once, when I was little, I asked him if he'd grown up with dogs. We couldn't have one in our apartment, and I was obsessed with any wagging tail I saw. His face closed. Dogs are noisy, he said. They bark at things people can't see. Better for you to live somewhere they don't have to work so hard. I thought it was a weird answer. I forgot it. Now, as I sat on the floor in my small apartment, the box in front of me, his words came back. I cut the tape carefully. Inside, wrapped in an old towel, were 3 things. A cassette tape, labeled in his careful handwriting. Inunaki Village. A folded paper map, edges browned, with a circle drawn in red pen somewhere in the mountains between rivers and unmarked roads. And a photograph. Not glossy. Matte, black and white, creased. It showed a gate. Not a shrine gate. A village gate. 2 thick wooden pillars, a beam across the top. A board hung there with hand-painted characters. Beyond the gate, a cluster of wooden houses, roofs low, a path of packed earth. In the foreground, 2 children stood, backs to the camera. A boy and a girl. The girl held something under her arm that might have been a dog. The boy wore a cap slightly too big for his head. On the back of the photo, in faded ink, someone had written a date from 50 years ago. And 4 characters that made my skin crawl. Place without constitution. I stared at the photo until my eyes blurred. The internet had countless fake images of Inunaki Village. They were easy to spot if you knew what to look for. Modern signage. Wrong regional details. Photoshopped mist. This photo didn't look like those. It looked ordinary. Which made it worse. I took the cassette tape to my desk. Who even had a way to play these anymore? As if sensing my modern inconvenience, my grandfather had added one more thing to the box. At the bottom, under old newspapers, lay a small tape recorder. The kind reporters used in TV dramas. Batteries taped to the side. I slotted them in, clicked the tape into the compartment, and pressed play. Static. Footsteps on gravel. A dog barking. A child laughing. Then, a woman's voice. "Young. Dad, is this working?" she asked. My mother's voice. "It should be," my grandfather replied, fainter, in the background. "Don't point it at me, point it at the road." The recording quality was bad, but I could hear the strain in his tone. "Why are we recording this?" my mother asked, half annoyed, half amused. "You were the one who said never to talk about." "So we have proof," he said. "If anyone ever goes looking. So they know they shouldn't." The tape hissed. Wind. Their footsteps. A car door slamming somewhere behind them. "This road is closed now, anyway," my mother said. "No one can drive it." "Roads can be rebuilt," my grandfather said. "Villages can grow back from stumps." They walked in silence for a while. Then my mother whispered. "Did you hear that?" Distant barking. Closer. Not like one dog. Like many. Their voices overlapping strangely, as if echoing from different directions. A metallic creak. A gate. My fingers dug into my knees. On the tape, my grandfather's breathing quickened. "We're too close," he said. "Turn it off." This was a bad idea. My mother laughed nervously. "What, you're scared of a shut-down village," she said. "The sign is gone. They built the new tunnel. There's nothing left here. The only ghosts are inside your head." "Turn it off," he repeated. There was a sharp intake of breath. Not theirs. Someone else's. Right next to the microphone. A child's voice. "Hi." Flat. "Why did you leave?" it asked. My blood turned to ice. "Why did you leave us here?" the voice went on. "You said we'd all go together. But you turned around at the gate." My mother swore under her breath. "Who are you?" she snapped. Silence. Then, the sound of dogs pacing on gravel. Claws clicking. Panting. The child's voice again. "Dogs remember," it said. "Roads remember. Names remember." I heard my grandfather mutter an apology, not to the child. To my mother. I'm sorry, he said. I thought. If we changed our name. If we moved far enough. We paid the price. I thought. You thought the village would forget us, the child said. The tape warbled, as if the recorder was being shaken. There was a loud bark, right into the microphone. Then a sound like wood splintering. The recording cut abruptly with a click. The player word stopped. I pressed rewind with a shaking finger. The tape refused. It had reached its end. I tried to eject it. The compartment jammed. When I forced it open, the cassette came out in two pieces, tape spilling like entrails. The label was tore cleanly in half. I stared at the ruins of the tape. Then at the map. The red circle around a nameless fold in the land. My phone buzzed. A new voicemail. No caller ID. Of course. This time, I listened with the speaker on. The sound that came through was not static. It was the child's voice. Clearer. Closer. You listened, it said. So you remember. My apartment felt smaller. I checked the time. 2:03 a.m. Who are you? I whispered. It giggled. Which time? It asked. The time when I was your neighbor? The time when I was your mother's classmate? The time when I was your grandfather's? The audio glitched. The words stretched, slurred. Everyone is someone's something, it said finally. Here, you can be ours again. Again? I said. My voice shook. The barking in the background grew louder, overlapping, a chorus. You left, the child said. You changed your name. You moved to a place with too much light and too many trains. But your blood remembers the path. That's why you make those videos at night, isn't it? You're looking for us without knowing. I'm just interested in horror, I said weakly. Urban legends. Stories. Stories grow where something was cut, it replied. Where what was cut? And you keep watering us. The gravel under its feet crunched as if it was walking in a circle. Inunaki Village was erased, I said, more to myself than to it. They say it never existed. That's the easiest way to live with what you've done, the child said. Say it never happened. Say it's not on the map. Say the law never reached there anyway, so nothing real was broken when you cut it off. I don't even know where it is, I said. You do now, it replied. There was a rustle, like paper unfolding. I looked at the map on my desk. The red circle slowly darkened, as if ink was soaking outward, turning the surrounding blank space gray. The child hummed. Roads grow back, it said. Even when you build new tunnels, the old paths wait. You walked above us last night, you know. In the car. You laughed. You filmed. You called it content. My throat tightened. Inunaki Tunnel, I whispered. Gate, it corrected. To what? To us. I heard something move in my tiny hallway. Soft claws on vinyl flooring. A wet panting. My heart stuttered. I don't want this, I said. You inherited it, the child said. The village has to go somewhere. Names have to live somewhere. If the officials won't write us on the map, we'll write ourselves in your blood. Something scratched at my front door. Slowly. Deliberately. Not like a neighbor's dog. Like someone with claws, tracing patterns. Kanji, maybe. When I glanced at the peephole, I saw only darkness. And far below, the top of a wooden gate that should not fit in my apartment hallway. You can ignore us, the child said. Close your apps. Sleep with the TV on. Move again. Change your number. But you already opened the box. You already played the tape. You already walked the road. The scratching stopped. A soft thump, as if something heavy had sat down outside. If you want us to leave you alone, it said, you have to pay the toll. What toll? I whispered. It laughed. I don't know yet, it said. You're the one who tells stories. You decide what's fair. One person? Two? Yourself? Or? A pause. Do you want to give us that annoying friend with the camera? He kept making fun. We don't use that kind of law here. But we do use that kind of trade. Images flashed, Shun's grin in the tunnel, Miyu's eye roll, Kana's white knuckles on her phone. No, I said. Then come yourself, it said. Bring the map. We'll decide together. The voicemail cut out. My phone screen showed midnight. No audio file. No record of any message. The only proof was my racing heart. And the fresh groove scratched in the pane of my front door, looping in a pattern that looked uncomfortably like the character for dog. I didn't go back to Inunaki Tunnel. Not physically. I stopped answering Shun's messages. I told him my horror project was on hold. I avoided the topics my grandfather's old box dragged to the surface. But avoiding isn't the same as stopping. I reread every Inunaki thread online. I compared the fake photos to my grandfather's. I traced the map over and over, eyes closed, until I could draw it from memory. Some nights, I woke up convinced I smelled wet fur and smoke. Once, I rolled over and nearly collided with the tape recorder, sitting on my pillow. I had left it in the box. The cassette inside was whole again. Label neat. I stopped touching it. I thought if I did nothing, the road would close. Villages die when no one speaks their names, right? But the internet speaks Inunaki's name every day. My channel recommendations filled with new I stayed in a haunted Inunaki house videos, we found the real Inunaki Village thumbnails, we called the Inunaki phone box at 3 a.m. and this happened clickbait. The more I tried not to think about it, the more it spread. New fan art. New theories. New coordinates. The village wasn't fading. It was evolving. And every time some foreign YouTuber mispronounced its name, I felt a weird surge of possessive anger. Mine, something inside me hissed. My family. My erasure. My ghost. That was when I realized the toll it wanted wasn't just one life. It wanted its story back. All of it. From me. The last voicemail, so far, came a week ago. I was editing a video that had nothing to do with Inunaki. Just a simple narration about another urban legend, unrelated. My mic was set up. My script was open. I was trying to be normal. Then my phone buzzed. No caller ID. I almost didn't answer. Almost. My thumb had its own ideas. I put it on speaker and set it on the desk. Static. Wind. Footsteps. Barking. The now too familiar soundscape. Then the child's voice. You can't tell other people's stories properly, it said. You skip the parts that hurt you. I stared at my script. YouTube safe horror. Just scary enough, not too personal. Leave me alone, I said. You came from a village that doesn't exist, it went on, ignoring me. Your mother pretended she was born in the city. Your grandfather cut us out of his address history. The officials erased us from their paperwork. And now you talk about us like we're just content. I have never made a video about Inunaki, I snapped. On purpose. Yet, it said. Silence stretched thin. Tell them, the child whispered. Tell them how your family left. Tell them about the gate. Tell them about the dogs that didn't bark when the officials came at night. Tell them why the Constitution didn't apply there. Tell them who made that decision. How do you even know? I whispered. Because no one else is left to tell it, it replied. We're not asking for repentance. There's no law for that here. We just want to be remembered correctly. The barking in the background softened. No longer a threat. More like a chorus. Old, tired, still listening. You're the only one who has the map and the tape and the voice, the child said. If you don't talk, the fake stories will replace us. And we'll have to keep scratching at your door. At your bloodline. Forever. My chest ached. You want me to make a video? I said slowly. Isn't that what you do? It replied. You sit in the dark with your microphone and talk people into places they'll never go. Talk them here. To the idea of here. That's all we need. An idea with the right shape. What if someone actually finds the road? I said. What if they go beyond the tunnel for real? Then maybe we were meant to meet them, it said. Some doors have to be open from both sides. The line crackled. Tell them, it repeated. Tell them we weren't monsters. We were just people who decided the laws of the country stopped at our gate. Tell them what that cost. Tell them who paid. Then we might let you sleep. And if I refuse? I asked. Scratch. 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 From the inside of my closet door. From the underside of my bed. From the back of my teeth. You won't, it said. The call ended. My apartment was silent. On the screen in front of me, my editing software waited. On the desk, my mic sat like a loaded confession. I took a long, shaky breath. Hit record. And started talking. I don't know if this story will be the one you hear tonight. I don't know if I'll upload it to my channel. If I do, the thumbnail will probably have the tunnel in it. The algorithm likes that. In the title, I'll put Inunaki Village and Japanese horror story and narration in English, because that's how you found me. In the comments, people will argue about whether the village was ever real. They'll post coordinates. Old photos. Edited videos. They'll say I made it all up. They'll say they hear barking in the background that I swear I didn't record. They'll look for the Constitution sign. For the phone box. For the gate. Most of them will never leave their rooms. That's fine. You don't have to walk the road to feed it. You just have to think about it. Picture it. Talk about it. Every time you do, the path sharpens a little. The missing village grows a little less missing. The place without constitution gets a little more authority over the parts of you that don't fit the law of wherever you live. And somewhere, at 2:03 a.m., in a fold of land between tunnels and rivers and erased names, something that used to be a village will lift its head and listen. So if, after this, your phone rings from no caller ID around 2:03, and you hear gravel and wind and a child asking why you left, remember that you haven't left anything there. Not yet. You can hang up. You can block numbers. You can scroll away. You have that freedom. I didn't. I was born with a folded map in my blood. You just listened. That's enough for the village, for now. It's polite. It knows how to wait between trains. It's already waited this long. It will wait for you too.